Looks like Chidori, kind of. Nah.
Orochimaru.
Dude.
かなる術もこの目の前では何の効力も持たない。
Doesn't matter if you learn all the jutsu in the world if Tachi can see right through them all, or the Sharingan can in general. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Got the two-tailed beast with me here again. Y'all were funny. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but someone had commented on YouTube saying that Ushi, that's his name, is the two-tailed beast. Or I think it was maybe they just said it was a tailed beast in general. But I'll call them the two-tailed since they're both felines. But yeah, I hope y'all are doing well. We're starting a new arc today for Shippuden. We're going to do episodes 113 and 114. Y'all have just been getting me hype. You know, people just keep on saying it's going up from here. So it makes me very curious about what this arc's going to be about. Because, you know, I knew that the last arc with Hidan and Kakuza was like, you know, everyone was excited for that one. Like, everyone who watches my reactions, Patrons, etc. But you know, I didn't know anything about the arc ahead of time at all, and neither do I for this one. But I don't know, there's something about like getting into the hundreds of episodes, you know, we're at 113 now, that just like kind of makes it seem like we're gonna kind of get into like the bulk of the story kind of thing. So we'll see kind of how the plot develops here. I don't know, man, I'm excited. I think we can go and skip over the character names from last time since we're starting a new arc, and just go ahead and get into these episodes, y'all. If you enjoy these reactions, drop a like, subscribe if y'all want to follow on for more. I appreciate any support y'all can give me. If y'all are interested in early access, uncut reactions, check out the Patreon link below. We are 4 weeks ahead there. And yeah, let's go ahead and get in these episodes, y'all. Oh, damn. Getting sick again.
あとほんの少しで
中任選抜試験死の森あれから3年
3 years now.
地の書
Man, this was definitely when OG Naruto was popping off. Force of Death was so good.
始めようじゃな巻物の奪い合いを命がけで
あなたの殺気に怯えていた下人も成長したもんですね
Yeah, he's probably got to update that card, dude.
あの子が私に向けた幼い車輪ガンはとてもいい目をしていたわあの年であそこまで車輪ガンを使いこなせるなら合格いいえ育てればイタチ以上の逸材になるそう私はあれで確信したのよ彼の抱えるトラウマも含めてね
He loves that trauma, dude. Loves it.
サスケ君は必ず私を求める力を求めてね
だからこそ呪印を与えその反応を見るべく中任試験を見守ろうと手を打った
あんこのことを言ってるの
Yo. Damn, we haven't seen her in a long time.
どのみち木の葉を脅迫しようとは思っていたけどね鎧の能力でチャクラが吸収し尽くされればサスケ君は呪印の力に頼らざるを得ないさあ解放しなさい
Dude, this part was so funny. Like, he was like hiding in plain sight, basically.
影舞踊だとこんなものに飲み込まれてたまるか獅子連弾素晴らしい
Licks his chops.
スキルは呪印を跳ねのけるその意志そして窮地においての車輪ガンの生かし方
確かに実戦は時に忍びを大きく成長させますからね
Yeah, battle experience, man.
剣を続けさせたのは正解でした
まあねあそこまで成長したなら上出来
Yeah, honestly, looking back in hindsight, like him learning Chidori,
上出
like
来
that was
もう
pretty advanced.
っておく意味はない。私以上に彼を育てられる者はいない。彼の心の闇を理解する私以外に。
オロチマル様の色に染めるためにもですね。
Yeah, I mean, that's the real goal, isn't it?
まるでこの白寿司がついでだったかのようだ。そろそろ替えの薬の準備をしないといけませんね。転生の儀式を万全の体制で迎えてもらうためにも。
実に溺れ、実におごったお前にはそれにふさわしい。
Look who's got trauma now, bitch.
お前の術を全てもらっていくぞ。やめろ。腕が動かぬ。おいボレめ、あれで私の術は奪われ、転生の時期は遅らされた。でも
Now it's time.
万端、計画も最終段階。予期
This
せ
ought to be interesting.
ばとなっては取るに足らない代償。
Is Sasuke really gonna let him just do this shit?
あなたの体は私のものになるのよ、サスケくん。
Sasuke kid.
どういうことだ。監視に回った暗部からの連絡がないというのは、オロチマルの配下を退けたとはいえ、賛美の存在は未だ脅威のままなんだぞ。とにかく確認の部隊を送れ。最優先だ。
The three tail. I don't remember if I mentioned this in the intro or not, but I did actually. Some patrons said that there was some canon scenes in 112 that I watched with the three tail. That was pretty interesting. Like it did have a Jinchuriki and everything, and also Toby was pretty damn funny. Yo, oh shit, flashback.
オロチマル様。
何をしてるのカブト。
大丈夫ですか、オロチマル様。
あと少しであの体が私のものになる。転生を前にして私の気分はと
I feel just fine as he's coughing up blood constantly.
もう限界ですね。
Kabuto's MVP to Orochimaru, man.
体が薬を取り替えてきます。少しお待ちください。
Evil laughs.
さっき体はすでに限界を超えているはず。なのにあのお方は気力だけで、これだからオロチマル様のそばを離れられない。
I still want to know more about his motivations.
影の両巨頭を倒し、あと一歩でこの白寿司もなるという時も。
Yeah, kind of looking at it now, it's kind of impressive. Everything that he did against the Leaf Village.
あれほどの殺気を覇気を放つことはなかった。それがここに来て、オロチマル様の成長が恐ろしいよ。5ヶ月
Aren't we all?
うまくすれば大陸全土すらオロチマル様の
Wow.
サスケくんの体を手に入れることによってね。
I just have a hard time believing it's actually going to happen that way, to be honest. Yeah, honestly, like, seeing some of Shippuden and the world expanding a bit, and getting the Akatsuki's powers and stuff, I feel like what happened in classic Naruto is, like, more important, or, like, kind of more impressive, like Orochimaru taking on the Leaf Village by himself, basically. I mean, he recruited a bunch of ninjas, obviously, but... Damn, this is a dope scene.
千鳥流し。
Oh, he's doing with Chidori, too. Dang. Cool, man. Poor moth. Damn.
確かなんだな。
はい、例の湖に確認に行った部隊の話によると、監視のために配置した暗部の姿は賛美もろとも消え失せていたとのことです。すみません、私が賛美を封印できなかったためにですが、一体何者が。
Who do you think?
僕が途絶えたわずかな時間の中で、あの賛美を相手にできる者たち。
Who's after the tail beast?
暁か。
Bro, all these animals are getting freaking wrecked. Ah, it's just the circle of life. Let them be. Oh god, no. Not the circle of life. No, no!
転生の代償はこの痛み。しかしこんなもの手に入れるものの大きさに比べればどうということはない。このチャクラ性質はだがこんな形態変化は見たことがない。誰なの？
Looks like Chidori, kind of. Nah. Okay.
やっぱりそうきたわね。
もうあんたに教わることは何もない。あんたの前でも非常になれそうだ。
Oh yeah, this was the scene I saw for the filler episode.
永遠にとどめは刺してないわね。まだまだ甘い。
殺したい奴は他にいる。
非常にならなければイタチには勝てないわよ。
あいつの前では非常になるさ。嫌が王でもな。
Damn, it's a hard shot right there. Yeah, this change of nature form here is cool. It's like a freaking beam. Ooh, shit, dude.
オロチマル、あんたは俺より弱い。
Well, especially right now, he is.
遅れてやる必要もなくなったわけだ。
言うわね、内派のひよっこが。
ひよっこじゃなきゃ手に入りそうもなかったんだろ。あんたさ、中任選抜試験のあの森であんたはひよっこの俺をいやらしく寝踏みしていた。動け！カトン！
Man, this was the first fight that was so dope in Naruto, man. Like, the animation was so cool. I remember being really impressed back then.
やっぱり私は君が欲しい。
そして俺に唾をつけたってわけだ。こいつで俺を縛っているつもりだったんだろうが。
うちらと一緒に来い。そうすればオロチマル様が力をくれる。
来るのか？来ねえのか？こんな弱えやつ。
These guys are just a distant past now.
やってみろ。
てめえだけがオロチマル様のお気に入りとは限らねえんだぜ。
He hedges his bets, man.
うちらにもはや自由などない。何かを得るには何かを捨てなければならない。
Totally worth giving up your freedom for that. Yeah.
目的は何だ？
目的を忘れるな。
俺は復讐者だ。復讐の目的が果たされるならばこの体を捨ててもいいとさえ思っていた。あんたもシャリンガンだけが欲しかったんだろ。しかしイタチが無理だった。だからひよっこの俺を狙った。そうだろ。3人と歌われた天才さんよ。
Damn, he's hitting deep right now.
ただの天才でしかなかった。
Just an ordinary prodigy.
どころか届きもしない。どんな天才も内派の名の前では凡人になり下がるの。
Yeah.
自分の体を薬漬けに
Man, she has built different.
変えてまで内派の力にいやらしく近づこうとするあんたの行為はこの名を持つ俺からすれば浅ましく滑稽だ。それにあんたのやり方は好きじゃない。あんたの目的は何だ？
For real, man. He still be experimenting like crazy. Man, just being called an ordinary prodigy is ridiculous. Like, imagine like how like strong he is or naturally talented he is, and then just to have there's always somebody more talented than you, right?
次へと命をもてあそぶ。
Oh my god, dude.
この道理を解き明かすだのなんだのとくだらない利己的な理由で他人をおもちゃのようにもてあそび続けている。
兄さんが
己の器を測るためだ。
俺の器を測る。それだけのためにみんなを殺したっていうの？
それが重要なのだ。ヘドが出る。
Damn, dude.
白い鱗の大蛇。それがあんたの勝利。
Ew, what the fuck?
体から体へ乗り換えるために
That looks cursed, dude.
慣れの果てがその姿か。
さあサスケくん、その体を私にちょうだい。
Dude, this fucking snake form is ridiculous.
死を排する蛇が空を飛びたいと夢見たところで所詮無理な話。
Damn.
どうにかしたいと巣の中のひよっこを狙ってたお前が逆に狙われてたのさ。
Yeah, you let him grow too strong. That's why,
これから空高く飛び立つ。
damn. Yeah, that's why, like, the third Hokage's sacrifice at the end there was so important, because he had to wait so much longer to get Sasuke. Sasuke could grow into a full-fledged hawk. All these metaphors here, or analogies? I don't know. I always get analogies and metaphors confused. Sasuke. All right, interesting, man. Definitely throwing a loop for it. I don't know. It's curious because, like, last time we heard anything talked about this was like when Naruto and Sakura came in, and like Sai and them came in, found Sasuke, and he seemed like very much on board about Orochimaru taking his body at that point, if it meant that he could get revenge. That's the only thing that matters. But I think probably at this point, it seems like it's more like he's made the decision. Yeah, Orochimaru isn't someone he really likes very much. He doesn't really like the way he's going about things, using people and all this stuff. But it seems like it's more that he thinks he's just stronger than him and he doesn't really need him. If he felt like he needed him, then he would let him take his body. That's kind of how I'm interpreting it, at least. I feel like his curse mark form looks a little different. Like, wasn't he more purple? Couldn't avoid that one. Crap. I mean, it's not a spoiler, at least. Ooh, little flashback here.
なんだろうこれ。
おお、よく見つけたな。これは白蛇の脱皮した皮だ。
初めて見たこんなの。
実はわしもだよ。これはめったに見ることのできない珍しいものだぞ。
どうして白いの？
さあな、よくは分かっておらん。
Dude, little Orochimaru doesn't even sound that bad, man.
ただ昔から
Almost
白
sounds
蛇は
innocent.
幸運と再生の象徴とされとるんだ。
幸運と再生。
Renewal.
ここで
He
見つ
sure
けたの
loves
は
that.
何かの因縁。お前の両親もどこかで生まれ変わっているかもしれんの。いつかまた大きくなったお前と会うために。
それっていつだろう？
さてな、そりゃわからんが。
縄木気負ってるわね。
Oh, it's, yeah, Tsunade's little brother, right? Bro, you just got blown up? So he just like ran into a trap or something?
戦争だからね。今は綱手の正体が。
もうよせ、死んでる。
人はなんて壊れやすいものなの。人体には一生のうちに使われることのない力が眠っている。その力を解放できれば。
Interesting, dude. He almost had some like empathy there.
お守りよ。
お守り？これが？
それはね、とっても珍しい再生と幸運のお守りなのよ。
And I'm loving getting some more context on him.
でもいくらオロチマル先生が研究熱心だとしても死んじゃった人は生き返らないですよね。
そうね、死者の復活は難しいわね。でもね、再生のヒントなら掴んでるの。肉体を活性化させることで人は格段に強くなり、それと同時に再生力も高まるのよ。
Is this what the curse mark is?
あなたにもいずれその力を分けてあげるわね。
はい、ありがとうございます、オロチマル先生。
呪印という名の肉体活性術をね。
Is that Itachi?
バカな、無茶な修行にも程がある。
Dude, it's so cool. This is when he was young too. Oh, here he goes.
美しい。これがシャリンガンの力。どれほどの忍びがこの領域に、どれほどの修行をしようと。
Yeah, he's learning that.
わかる。私にはこの十式の凄さがわかる。でもこの禁術を得得するのには最低1ヶ月。
Damn, he freaking raided this place.
するのに一体何年かかるというの。
Yeah, that's like the main goal that we've been told from him, right? It's just he wants to learn all the jutsu techniques.
たとえ再生忍術で生きながらえたとしてもそれは有限。全てを手に入れるには。
Live for a real long time.
オロチマル、やはり貴様か。いえ、ここで何をやっていた。
Damn, it's sad seeing his kid form and kind of like progressively getting to this point.
ありよりも里を優先するあなたには、私にとって肉体の寿命は短すぎる。たとえほかげと呼ばれようとも。
I think it's interesting how like he took after like Tsunade's loved ones' deaths to kind of almost inspire him to get to this point.
このまさか。フロー
Maybe not inspire, like impact him,
もう考え直してはくれない。
give him context to the fragility of humanity.
バカにも程がある。あと一歩のところまで研究は進んでいる。私は全てを手に入れる。私の器はこの体でもこの葉でもない。そのためには組織だろうと何だろうと利用するまで。
He wants to use everyone and everything.
新しいメンバーの到着だ。
Is this the leader? Ooh.
内派たち、内派を滅ぼしたあなたが暁に来るなんてね。
This is good context. He massacred everyone before he joined the Akatsuki. Part of me was wondering if like he had joined the Akatsuki beforehand.
こんなシャリンガンを持つ者が自ら私の前に、なんてラッキーなのかしら。私はさあその体いただくわよ。まさかこの私が金縛りの
And
なんという動力、素晴らしい。
he loves that power.
オロチマル、
Dude.
かなる術もこの目の前では何の効力も持たない。
Doesn't matter if you learn all the jutsu in the world if Tachi can see right through them all, or the Sharingan can in general.
来たわね。さあ行きましょう。私の未来はこの子の中にある。
Might lie with him as he kills you. Oh shit.
終わりか。あまりにもあっけない。
There's no way it's over.
みたいね。この大白蛇の体液は空気に触れると気化するしびれ薬なのよ。私は不滅。あなたごときの術ではまだまだ殺せぬ。さあいただくわよ。
なんだ。
ここは私の中にある異空間。
Ugh, bro.
意識を行うのよ。始めるわ。
Jesus Christ, bro. I'd be freaking out at this point. Are those others that he's consumed before? Or taken over?
素晴らしい。これはまるであの時の。
Yeah, this episode feels like a fever dream, bro.
その目がついに私のものに。
Yeah, and Kabuto is a little oblivious this whole damn time.
早ければ今日にも転生の儀式を行うしかないか。
Little do you know.
しかし、あのサスケくんが素直にうんと言うとは思えない。
Yeah, no shit. We know that now.
まあ、サスケくんといえども、 あの儀式には逆らえまいが。
So is that hand? Orochimaru's the one that Itachi cut off back then? It's his own?
どうしてサスケくんがここに。あれは巨大蛇の脱皮ということはすでに儀式は終わったのか。一体どうなってる。
Sure, looks like Sasuke still. Confucius.
今の君は
Yeah,
どっちなんです。
I mean, I feel like we would see Orochimaru's eyes, you know?
どっちだと思う。
Dude, this is wild.
これは転生の儀式。転生の儀式の記憶を見せられているんだ。
Oh.
これから二人の儀式に決着がつく。
Damn.
バカな。ここは私の作り出した異空間よ。ありえない。
He's like taking over his jutsu or something?
ここは私だけの。
オロチマル、お前のいかなる術もこの目の前では。
Damn. Goes hard.
分かってるはずだろ。
Should have learned his lesson.
サスケくんの意志が空間を侵食していく。
こんなことがあってたまるか。私は不死のオロチマルだぞ。こんな。
There's no way he's like gonna die, right?
こんなところでこの私が。私はこの世を解き明かすものすべてを手にするものなのだ。
Is this present time?
なんか嫌な。
Yeah, I was literally about to say, I was like, the tone here feels a little ominous. Feeling a little nervous here.
燃ゆる落日血のようじゃな。
どうしました。
いや、なんでもない。
Is that a shooting star or something?
オロチマル様が死んだ。いや、これではまるで。
No shit.
乗っ取ったのさ。
What? So do you like take over all his knowledge and stuff too? Bro. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I mean, I think hopefully they'll explain it a little bit more, but like Orochimaru being dead, if that's true, I don't know. I don't know how I like that. I don't know. Like, is that all we're gonna get from his character? Like, that's the end of it, or like I liked all the flashbacks and backstory to a degree, but I feel like for like kind of the main villain we had for a long time in this story from classic Naruto perspective, I know he hasn't been as big of a thing in Shippuden. It's kind of like a little abrupt. No, I don't know, guys. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit more in the review section. Let me rewatch these a bit, take some notes, and I'll give you all my thoughts here. But first, just first thoughts. I'm like, I don't really know how I feel right now. I feel a little torn. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and talk about these episodes. What an interesting turn of events. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I kind of always suspected that, Orochimaru wouldn't take over Sasuke's body. I just think Sasuke is too important of a character, and with the timeline that we've been given for when he needed to do the reanimation or immortality jutsu. By the way, I feel like I need somebody to kind of clarify the difference between reanimation and immortality jutsu. They seem to be very similar to me, but different at the same time. It's a little confusing, but anyways, like it seemed like it just wouldn't happen. But I suspected that Sasuke would just like leave and go do his own thing, be like, I don't need you, and just leave and pursue Itachi on his own. especially as he's gotten as strong, or if not stronger, than Orochimaru here. But I was not really expecting him to kill Orochimaru, or not really even kill. It's more like he's consumed all of his being, almost like he's inherited his body and his jutsus, I'd assume. Maybe? Question mark? I don't know. It's a little vague. And it's a little hard to believe, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just definitely wasn't expecting to go down this way. And like I said at the end of the reaction, I don't really know how to feel about it. Like, if Orochimaru is actually dead, which is what it sounds like, and you know, like, is he just out of the story at this point? Does he live through Sasuke in some way? Are we gonna learn more about what his goal really was? Because that's still very unclear to what his goal is. You know, like, from what I got from it, it just sounds like he wants to disrupt the order of the world, you know, the status quo. And we've gotten that to some degree back in classic Naruto, but I don't know, it's a little confusing to what he wants. Like, there's like certain lines in this, like, that he said, like, I do everything he does is for his goal, he said, and then he clarifies, he says, I do it to clear away the darkness that stands in the way of my goal. So what's that darkness exactly? Is that the Sharingan, right? Is that the Uchiha clan, who naturally are the highest level of prodigies? You know, the peak of the peak in terms of prodigies, versus Orochimaru's being an ordinary prodigy, which that was savage when Sasuke called him that. And how bad does that feel probably to hear? But I mean, relatable though. Everyone, you know, there's that whole joke. It's like, if you ever think you're good at someone, there's, you know, an Asian that's better at it. You know, Asian kid. But you know, that's just normal in life in general. Stereotypes aside, you know, there's always somebody better at you than something. You know, so it makes sense. It's realistic, I think. But at the same time, I guess I'm a little concerned about Orochimaru's character at this point. Like, is he going to have more of a part to play in this story with Sasuke kind of like taking over his being, or is this kind of a way just to kind of write him out of the story? Because I'd be a little disappointed, I think, if that's how it went down. Just because he was like the main villain in classic Naruto. And not to say that, you know, I think at this point, like, I enjoy the Akatsuki more than Orochimaru is, like, as a villain. And even though there's some overlap between them, it was kind of cool having like a different villain like Orochimaru compared to this like organization, and them still being connected in a lot of ways, but ultimately probably having different ultimate goals, right? Like, the Akatsuki have a similar goal of wanting to disrupt the status quo, but it's for control of themselves, right? They want to take over the world and monetize or monopolize war to do that, and to, you know, control the system. Whereas, you know, Orochimaru wants to disrupt it too, but for what ends, right? Like, maybe it's for him to rule over the world individually, or you know, might have, you know, different kind of ambition here at the end goal. But I don't know, I hope that even if he is actually dead, or, you know, even if he's been consumed by Sasuke, that there still is like more that's to be told about from his character. Like, I hope we get more of like what he really wanted, maybe flashbacks, you know, more additional flashbacks to you know, his role in the Great Shinobi Wars or something like that. I don't know, I'm a little like sad that I'm feeling a little cautious and like preparing myself that we're not going to get more of him now, which would kind of feel like a bummer, especially at this point in Shippuden. Like, I'd be fine if he got killed off at some point, but I kind of wanted it to be like a greater scale, or it to be like, I don't know, like after like Naruto and Sasuke have grown to a point, and then they face Orochimaru and can take him out or something like that. I don't know. But despite like feeling a little conflicted about this, I did really like these episodes. I did really enjoy, especially the flashbacks of Orochimaru as a kid, and you know, as a growing shinobi in the Leaf Village. Off the bat, like, him as a kid, it was a little melancholy just like seeing him interact with Sarutobi, and he's like such more of an innocent kid back then. Like, his voice was much more gentle, you know, he's inquisitive about like the white snake and kind of the importance of it or what it represents, and even more so, I really thought it was interesting, the scenes with what's his face, Naoki, right? Tsunade's little brother, and he dies. And, you know, one thing I noticed, and I was like, I'd assume that they were in the same squad, right? Was he like Naoki's Jonin, like as he was Genin? So was he responsible for him and let him die like that? I mean, it's not like he let him die, but you know, he was kind of just like amused by how eager Naoki was and didn't like protect him like Kakashi might do for Naruto when he was a Genin, right? Him just charging it head first and making sure that, you know, Naruto wasn't going to get himself killed. But Orochimaru didn't seem to do the same. I thought that was interesting, but the most interesting part to me was when he saw Tsunade and Dom's death, and he almost seemed sad in that scene. Like, it's something we haven't seen from Orochimaru a lot. He's always been just like a traditional, like, evil villain, like always just, you know, very evil outlook on the world kind of thing, self-interested, all these things. And he obviously is still self-interested based off this backstory, but he's almost like saddened by the loss of Dom. And I don't think it's necessarily about the loss of Dom or Tsunade being necessarily like heartbroken, but it's about like the fragility of humans, of life in general. Like, he's saddened by the fact that, you know, he knows he's in the same boat, that people can die very easily. And obviously that leads him to, you know, pursuing reanimation jutsu and immortality jutsu so that he can fulfill his ambition of learning every jutsu. But we still don't know what all that's for, right? If it's to take over the world or whatever, what his ultimate goal is. So I think it was more about that, but I don't know, there was quite a few scenes, little small glimpses of like him kind of being sad. It's just something it's not an emotion we've really seen. We've seen frustration and anger, of course, but not like sadness from him. I think it was even like when him and Kabuto are like accounting on the Chunin exams back in classic Naruto, and him accounting on losing his arms and kind of, you know, not being able to take over Sasuke's body because that was all delayed. He looked sad during that scene. It's like I think it was when Kabuto said that like him taking over the Leaf Village or the destruction of the Leaf Village was almost like an afterthought because he was so focused on Sasuke. And in reality, that's kind of probably what it was, right? Like, Sasuke was really the more important part. Getting the Sharingan was really what he seeked because he couldn't get it from Itachi. By the way, that scene was sick. Like, him trying to capture Itachi with his snake, and Itachi slices off his hand, which I think that's the hand we've been seeing in Orochimaru's layers, is his own hand, his own left hand, I think, right? So kind of cool that we got that tied in. But yeah, it's like the destruction of the Leaf Village was kind of not that it wasn't important to him, but ultimately it kind of did end up in him not being successful in taking over Sasuke's body, or getting him early enough to take over his body. So in a way, it's kind of like he has some regret or something like that. Obviously he's angry at Sarutobi for kind of ruining his plans, but I think it's almost like he kind of blames himself a little bit in this case, that like he wasn't actually focused on what was really important. That's kind of how I interpreted it, at least. A couple other small things that I thought were cool in the flashbacks was one, seeing the Akatsuki's leader. Actually, you know, like we got a reveal of his face, but this was like a full front view of him, and that was really cool to see him in kind of full form with his design. You know, we get little kind of little pieces here that Itachi joins the Akatsuki after the Uchiha clan massacre, because like Orochimaru mentioned that. So kind of get some context or some timeline in here, which is good to know, since obviously the Uchiha clan massacre is still a huge mystery in the series. So, but yeah, overall, very interesting episode. I'm still very conflicted about all of it, but let's go and get into the character ratings. For MVP, I'm going to give that to Sasuke. I mean, how could you give it to anyone else? To him just, you know, overpowering Orochimaru. I mean, and it's interesting, you know, if Orochimaru was in like a strong host, like if he had just been reanimated like he was in classic Naruto with that one body, would, you know, he'd still be technically stronger than Sasuke, or was Sasuke able to overwhelm him because of his weakened state? But I kind of get the sense that it's more than that, right? It's like the Sharingan, the whole, you know, in front of, you know, these eyes, your jutsu can't do anything. None of your jutsu has any power. Like both Itachi said that to Orochimaru and Sasuke did. So it's almost like Sasuke was able to overwhelm him with just his sheer will and strength of Sharingan. But I'm curious on how that works. It was a little vague too. For the best moment, I'm going to give that to Orochimaru in his flashback. I really love the flashback and just seeing him kind of throughout his growth. He's very interesting as a character. It's hard to pin where his motivations have always lied. He's always kind of been that traditional villain, but in this, it seems like he does experience some sadness, and I don't want to. It's definitely not empathy, or I don't know. It could be interpreted as empathy, but I feel like it's more of like sadness towards like his own, being ephemeralness as a human, right? Like he's not gonna be around for forever. That's like, it's not like he's sad for others. He's more sad for himself still. For the funniest moment, I'm going to give that to, even though there's not really any actual funny moments, I kind of got a little kick out of the design of Orochimaru's snake form. The hair on the head just is a little silly to me. Still interesting that that's like his like actual form now, but or was his form. But yeah, little silly. And then for the Sako, I'll give it to Shizune. I'll give it to Shizune all the time, but I'll give it to her for not sealing the three-tail, even though obviously not a very focal point of this episode, but she didn't seal the three-tail, man. I'm sure that was probably part of more of the filler stuff, even though I watched some of the canon scenes. Maybe there was more context there I missed, but apparently she failed the mission, so we'll shit on her. Shit on the Shizune. Shit on the Shizune. Shizune. But yeah, y'all, very interesting that the story's taken this turn. I'm curious how it's gonna integrate with the rest of this arc. Like if we're gonna follow Sasuke a bit more in this arc and kind of where he goes from here, and what him really taking over all of Orochimaru's being means. Like I'm really curious if that means that he has inherited all the jutsus he's learned, because that would give Sasuke a crazy power buff, right? I don't know if it'll be that. I feel like that'd be a little bit of a stretch. Like if Sasuke just started like throwing out snakes and all this crazy stuff like that. But yeah, y'all, hope y'all enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will catch y'all for the next episodes. Peace.